खिलाफत क्या है एक फजले अज़ीम मेरा बेरहमा है सरासर नूर और रहमत इल्म व हिकमत का गुलिस्तान है.
When I first became an Ahmadi, maybe by a few years, I had my first duty in Iftikhar. I was doing duty with the rest of the Iftikhar team. We were walking around with Huzur during the inauguration of the Jalsa in 1998. I remember at one point when Huzur had given his speech during the inauguration, then we went from there to the marquee to have some refreshments for all the members of the Jalsa team in Islamabad. I remember that I was standing behind Huzur, and I was actually thinking to myself, I would really like a cup of tea. And I was also thinking to myself, I'm hungry. And when I saw the rest of everybody having tea and light refreshments, I kept saying to myself this thing. But then I said to myself that, no, you're on duty, you have to be steadfast. Your job is to protect the Khalifa. At that moment, Hazrat Khalifa Tundusi Rabi Rahmatullah turned around to me and said, Ibrahim Sahib, sit beside me and have some tea and some biscuits. And I said to Hazur, no, Hazur, I'm on duty. He said, no, I know you want it. So I went and sat beside him, and I had that blessing of Hazur pouring the tea for me, Hazur giving me the biscuit. So what I'm trying to show is that there was something which happened that Hazur came to know my inner thoughts. And somehow he came to know I was having these emotions. So this just giving you an idea of that the Khalifa is divinely inspired.
I was at a Mulakat with Huzur, with my daughter, Jalsa Latif. And as I said, the Khalifa is familiar with all of my children. And we were about to leave. We have such wonderful Mulakats with Huzur. It's very, very personal and whatnot. And that in itself is inspiring to me. But what he said upon our getting ready to leave was, he said to my daughter, I want you and your father to come back here to visit me every year from now on and stay for at least a month. And I was knocked off of my seat just about for him to be looking here, and the Khalifa at the time is telling me to come back here to visit him from now on and stay at least a month. And when the Khalifa told me that, every year since then, me and my daughter have come and we stay for a month as a guest of the Khalifa at the time. And I think that's a message that everybody in America should hear.
Another incident, I suppose, would be when I was giving a report to Huzur. It was a Tarbiyat report. Huzur took the report from me. Huzur was not sitting on his desk. Huzur was sitting and relaxing on a couch, reading a particular book. I think he was not wearing his pagri. And he had the most amazing round glasses. And the first thing I thought to myself was, my God, he looks like Hazrat Muslim out. But that is the London. So at that moment in time, when Huzur was really concentrating on my report, I took the opportunity to focus on him, to focus on his face, to focus on his features, focus on anything I could get a memory, because they're memories, they're beautiful memories. I saw in the eyes, in the water in the eyes of Hazrat Khilafat Ayyaz, green water. And at that moment in time, I was reminded in my mind of a hadith of Prophet Muhammad that one of the signs of a person who would show deep love for the Prophet of Islam would be that water and green would be in his eyes. And this showed me that Hazrat Khilafat was an absolute servant of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
The third Khilafat started in 1965, and I was then in Tanzania. You know, Tanzania had gained independence, and it was an independent country. But after independence, things changed for the worst in Tanzania. There was a lot of violence and hatred against the Asian communities particularly. And a lot of our Asian Ahmadis who were serving in the government or in business, they left the country. They migrated to UK or they went over to Canada and other places. So I wrote to Huzur, the third Khalifa, to seek his advice. And I told him, I said, you know the situation here. A lot of my brothers have gone away. I'm here, but I don't want to make a decision myself. I want your advice. So he wrote back to me. He said, look, you are not going to UK. You are not going to Canada. You will stay in Tanzania. Not only stay, but you renounce your British citizenship and you take the Tanzanian citizenship. This was said by the third Khalifa. And you know, this was a decision at that time, something very, very drastic, you know. You could not think somebody just giving away his British citizenship when the things were so bad and everybody wanted to, you know, just migrate and come to these countries. So I renounced my British citizenship, and the British were very, very surprised. They said probably something had gone wrong with my head or what. See? And then when the government came to know, the government of Tanzania, that I have renounced my citizenship and I want to take out Tanzanian citizenship, they were very happy because my service record was excellent. So they readily gave me the Tanzanian citizenship, and they raised me to some very responsible higher posts, you know. And then, just believe me, with the prayers of Huzur, just after a couple of years, the government said, we want to send you to UK for your higher education. You see, and they organized a scholarship for me, which was Commonwealth Fellowship. So I was given a Commonwealth Fellowship to come to this country for my higher education. And I got a place in the University of Newcastle.
Regarding Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis, I will tell you only this thing, that in 97, I was informed by Allah myself who the next Khalifa would be in 1997. And I was shown very clearly that this Khalifa would become the next Khalifa in 1997. Now we must remember one thing, in 1997, Hazrat Khalifa was healthy, strong, there was no sign of any ailment, no sign of anything. So it was shocking when I related my dream to someone who was my teacher, Hafiz Hazrat Abisa, and he informed me that you have seen the election of the fifth Khalifa. Why I'm mentioning this is simply to show that the Khalifa is chosen by God Almighty Himself.
है एक फजले अज़ीम मेरा बेरहमा है सरासर नूर और रहमत इल्म व हिकमत